So how is everybody doing on this drizzly, dark, and cold night? Hope you guys are warm. Got your hot cocoa or whatever you drink to keep you warm, your cocoa, your coffee, your tea, whatever. But we're back with Miasma Maze Part 2. The last we saw our contestants, they were unwilling pawns in this maze, the Miasma Maze, so they can get that $1 million prize. They just wanted to see an incredible attraction, and this was the one that they picked up after doing the research online as being the #1 haunted attraction in the country. But they got a lot more than they were bargained for. Larnell and Spalding are bleeding from being cut by the scarecrows, and they managed to keep the weapons from the scarecrow attacks. So they managed to keep the weapons, and the ladies bandaged the guys up, and they can look across and they can see again they're right there at a moat. It's about 50 yards from point A to point B, and there's a hill, and they're seeing body parts floating, again in the water, and they realize this is not a gimmick or a game, or this is real life. So again, the commentator, the host of the attraction starts to speak. Don't you guys think that you should, tally on a little bit faster than what you're doing right now? There's $1 million waiting on you on the other side of those hills there. No one's made it. Oh yeah, I know you can hear the people screaming, and people are screaming in the background, and the amount of people gets lesser and less. So you guys can capitalize off of this money, right? You can be successful, be the first to ever do it, and earn a pretty penny doing so. So I'm going to help you. If you guys don't move it on, I'm going to help you go further, okay? I'm going to release some miasma gas that'll force you to move along, okay? And Larnell says, fuck are you talking about? We didn't sign up for this, and I don't want to do this anymore. I think we should, we want to be done with this. Are you crazy? And Spalding says, I think we've come a little bit too far to have that done. If we just stick to our guns and stay tight with each other, we could probably pull this off. And the two ladies just kind of look down and they shake their head. But they don't have a choice but to go forward. So the commentator comes over to loudspeaker again. Well, the moat's about 2-3 feet at its deepest, right? So you guys can get across that with no problem. But be careful with what's in that water. And I'm going to release the gas now. So sure enough, he releases this chemical, and it turns into a gas, right? As soon as it contacts with air, it turns into a gas, and it starts pushing them forward as they start coughing. Better get a move on. Keep a stiff upper lip. So the four of them start crossing the moat. Of course, they test the water height, not trusting what the commentator is talking about. So they test the water height. And true enough, it comes to about waist on the guys, and come to about just a little bit below the sternum on the ladies. And they're wading through the dirty, dank water. And then they can hear activity to the left of them. And they're about 25 yards in. And then they can see the hill that they have to climb. So all of a sudden they see these weird, dressed up, pumpkin-headed hillbillies on jet skis. There's two on each. There's only two, but there's two on each one. And they come flying down and they kick the water all up in their faces, and then they skirt back around on the water and they come back and make another pass. So the ladies are getting all, they're really getting upset, and everybody starts scrambling to try to get to the other side. Latrice looks at Larnell and says, hey, we're going to make it, but we got to hurry up and go because I think these guys are going to kill us. And Larnell says, yeah, I think you're right. So Spaulding says, yeah, we need to go ahead and get across. So Sarah and Latrice are the first ones across. And the hill is extremely muddy. So they can't really make their way, they can't really climb up. So Larnell and Spaulding are right behind them. And they're pushing the ladies up as best that they can. In fact, every item that they use helps them accomplish the next goal. And Larnell uses his sickle to help dig his way up to the top. So every time he digs his way up, he pulls Latrice up, and they get further and further up. And Spaulding does the same thing with Sarah. But when Spaulding takes his sickle, he ends up hitting something sharp, and then he pulls the sickle up, and it's somebody's head that's been severed. And it catches him off guard, and he yells, ah! And he shakes the head off of the sickle. But when just as he does that, the pumpkin-headed hillbillies shoot like a harpoon through his leg. And he yells out in pain, oh God, oh God. And Sarah screams, Spaulding. And when he does, the hillbillies already tied. They basically have a tether, and they yank him off of the hill, all into the muddy, downsliding from the hill in the muddy water, in the water, and the muddy water, in the moat. And they drag him back and forth, and they intend to drown him. And when they drag him back the next time, Sarah's screaming she's trying to get back out to help him. And Larnell does the same thing. So Larnell jumps in the water, and when he does, he submerges under the water after they make the pass, and the hillbillies didn't see him. But he tells Latrice to stay where she's at, so she's still staying. She's still on top of the hill, the muddy hill. And Larnell can hear them coming by, and when he does, he jumps up out of the water, and as they make their pass, he cuts and impales into the flesh of one of the hillbilly pumpkin heads. That one loses control and throws the other one off the back end 50, 60 yards down the other end of the moat. Put him out of commission, and he kills the other one with that impact. And he jumps back in, and he does the same thing to free Spaulding. So Larnell has freed him up and cut the tether, and he's helping Spaulding up the side onto the bank. He's trying to help him up the hill. And he's bleeding really bad out of that same leg that he was cut by the scarecrow earlier. And he's bleeding really bad out of that leg again. And he said, we're going to make it, man. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep trying. And when he does that, one of the hillbilly pumpkin heads jump out and tackle both Larnell and Spaulding. And Sarah takes her sickle that she has, and she jabs it into the head of the pumpkin head. And she rips it forward, and the pumpkin head splits down the middle. And it's just, like I say again, it's that inbred, hillbilly, cackling, deformed face. And he falls back into the water, and all you can see is blood and bubbles, and that's it. The second one, however, jumps on Spaulding, and just starts stabbing him and stabbing him and stabbing him and stabbing him over and over till he kills him. Larnell had been knocked over and he still got the mud and everything in his face. He can't really see to try to help his friend. But Sarah screaming, Spalding, Spalding, oh my God, he killed Spalding, he's killed Spalding. Latrice saying the same thing, but the mud is so deep, nobody can really make a lot of quick moves to help anybody. The reason that Sarah was able to help him was because she was closer to him. She was trying to help aid him and get him up the side of the hill, the muddy hill. So the remaining three, Sarah, Larnell, and Latrice, they fight their way up, digging into the mud with the sickle over and over, over and over, until they get to the top. But the last hillbilly, Pumpkinhead, is in pursuit. So they make it to the top of the one. They make it to the top of the one hill, and they see pitchforks. So what ends up happening is Sarah grabs the pitchfork, and they make it over the hill, but the hillbilly Pumpkinhead is in hot pursuit, really close to them. And they jump over the side of the hill, and Latrice yells, hey, you Pumpkinhead inbred bastard, come get us. And when he does, Sarah takes the pitchfork and she rams it into the chest of the Pumpkinhead hillbilly as he tries to come over and kill them. And she forces him down, pitchfork straight through the heart, through the chest and straight through the heart. And she screams, yeah, this is for Spalding, you bastard. And she shoves him and she pushes him over as his body slides down the muddy hill into the thick mud and into the water. And then Sarah spits where he was, and she starts crying. And then they're at the top of that hill and they go to the bottom. And then they all just sit there for a minute and they say, I can't believe this is really happening. Latrice says, I can't believe this is really happening. This is really happening. This is not a game. This is not a joke. This is really happening. This is, oh my God, they just killed him. They killed him. And then Larnell looks around and said, they killed a lot of people. But that was my boy, and they killed a lot of people, and I'm going to make that commentator pay for this. And Sarah's still crying, and they all three hug each other. And Larnell says, well, we got to get through this. We're going to get through this together. And they all stand up, and they look towards the next path that they have to take. And they can see the cornfield go back into the maze effect, and it's leading to a big plantation-style house. And they all take a deep breath and they sigh. And then Larnell says, that's our next destination. He said there were three ordeals that we had to overcome. And I'm assuming that's the last one there. But you guys grab those pitchforks. And let's finish this thing up for Spalding. And they start to make their way with their lanterns down the hill. Ready to do battle with what comes next. And I'm going to leave it right there. This is Miasma Maze Part 2. Again, like, comment, share, retweet, subscribe. Share this on your Facebook page. Again, this is a hobby of mine. I'm just trying to give you guys some extra fun and spookiness for this holiday season of Halloween. And I have published work already out on Ingram, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, Nuke, and Kindle. I have a book out right now called The Benefits of a Bully, which would be great for a slumber party story for the young folks. 10 and up. It's very educational. No profanity, anything like that. But it's very educational. Again, it's for 10 and up. This is more for the adults than what I'm doing right now. And my other work as well. All support is appreciated. I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to listen and take the time to support the work that I'm trying to do and that I'm trying to get out. So if you want to donate to my Cash App, you can. You don't have to, but that would be greatly appreciated. And thanks in advance if you do decide to do that. It's $outrage95. That's my Cash App. And this stuff has been copyrighted 2020. And again, hopefully I'm making somebody's day or somebody's night, or giving you an opportunity to come home and have something to look forward to. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to spread the love, everybody. Trying to spread the love. But with all of that being said, make sure you check the dark recesses of your room, of your home. You check under your beds. You check the closets. And if you happen to work tonight on this dark, dreary, rainy, cold night, make sure you check your surroundings when you step outside. Make sure you look under your car, because you never know what's lurking in the dark, waiting to make you a story. And this has been L.A. Kendrick from the House of Havoc, bringing you the heavy.